Do the thing with the stuff. What up, Joe? You wearing a sweater inside?
I am.
Dang, dog. How cold is it?
Probably somewhere in the 70s, I would guess.
Dang. 72.
Because we don't run our heater during the winter.
Well,
If you're cold, you get a sweater.
It ain't that cold here.
Fuck off, it is cold.
Nah. Nah, dog.
Look, man, I don't have natural insulation.
I do because I'm fat and hairy.
Yeah, exactly. I don't. So I get cold.
Yeah, well, how about you gain some weight and hair? How's that?
No,
Okay, fair enough.
no. I plan on not doing that unless the weight is muscle.
It could be.
It could be. I'm trying. Not that hard this week because I got the fucking shot.
Yeah, how was that for you, bud?
It sucked. Mostly because the next day, like I wasn't sick like I was with the previous shots, but it felt like I was hit by like a car or something, like just sore all over and just tired the whole entire day. Even now, I'm still fairly tired and not as sore, but like, of course my arm is sore, so it just sucks.
Yeah. It's funny too, is when you texted that the other day, I was talking to Paige. I remember like feeling it, but not like I did the other time. And obviously, she's like, "Well, you also haven't had COVID," and I was like, "Well, it makes sense too." Then I was like, "I do remember feeling like exhausted," but then I realized, "Oh wait, we also got the flu shot the same day we got the booster."
Yeah, see, and I got my flu shot 3 weeks ago. It was the week of Christmas,
Yeah.
if I recall right. So honestly, that didn't hit me very hard, but at least I did feel a little bit. I did feel some effects from that. So I have been just kind of coming off those effects when I went and got this. So yeah, so it sucks.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot of fun.
And this is, yeah, because I got COVID at the beginning of 2021. So that the shots were particularly bad for me because most people on their first one didn't feel anything. It wasn't until their second one that they got sick.
Yep.
But because I had COVID at the beginning of 2021, each shot made me sick.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. And most people were even saying that this was just like, oh, your arm will hurt the next day. They didn't feel anything. And I was like, okay, now I felt like I got hit by a car. So, yeah.
I would recommend not getting hit by a car. Just cause, but like having the feeling of being hit by a car, probably better than being actually hit by a car. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, it's a lot less recovery time. I'd imagine.
Yeah. Like the broken bones and like, bruising and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But whatever. I'm not a doctor or a mechanic.
Neither am
I. What's up, buddy?
Nothing much.
Hey, man. I know we normally don't have plans for anything, hence the name of the show. And we texted about it earlier. Have you caught up to all the episodes so far of Expanse season 6? Like, have you watched all 5 episodes?
I've watched all 5 episodes. Theoretically, the 6th episode should be up right now. I usually don't watch it on Thursday. I'll watch it on Friday, usually.
Is it up already? Yeah. Well, see, for some reason I was thinking the new ones came out on Thursday. Is that because my brain
technically they're supposed to come out on Friday. It's just Amazon releases them early. Probably, I imagine that they just, it goes up on Friday. Well, wherever Friday is in the world, it just, it goes up.
Let's see here. Expanse.
But as of right now, which is 6 o'clock on the dot, I don't know why I checked my watch. The time is literally on the upper right-hand corner of my laptop. I have not checked it to see if it is up yet.
It is not. Oh, wait. Is it?
Usually in past weeks, it's up on Thursdays.
Oh.
I don't see it. I'm looking at my up next on my laptop here, and I don't see it.
Oh no, it is. Go away, go away, go away.
You didn't watch.
I didn't know what I was doing. I've never used the app before. Don't click on the title of it. I thought you could just... Yeah, don't do that. I thought I was closing it again. There we go. Whew. Man, oh man. So episode 6 is up. So I will watch that tomorrow probably as well.
So you're fully caught up all the way through episode 5.
Yeah, like I said, for some reason I thought they came out on Thursday proper, not Thursday night / whatever time midnight it is, Friday somewhere. Friday morning somewhere, right? So crack a hot episode of The Expanse open with the boys. But so I was like, all right, well, because I watched, was it last week? Whatever days I was off, and it must have been last week. I watched the first 3 episodes, and I was like, okay, I'll watch the first 3. That way, when the 6th one, because I was like, oh, if I did my math right, it comes out on Thursday. I have Thursday off. I'll watch 4, 5, and 6 on Thursday. Yeah, no, it wasn't out yet. So I watched 4 and 5 today, which I know you and I talked previously on the podcast a little bit because I hadn't watched it yet, and you wanted to like be like, hey, this is what I seen or whatever. I will say this. This season is not the pacing I thought it was going to be. Not that it's bad. It's actually really good. I like it. What I mean by that is, for some reason, I thought they were going to shotgun a lot of the story through this to try to cram in the rest of the war with Marcos and then give you a bulk of Laconia stuff before doing whatever they're going to do. No. And I don't know why. I mean, I do know why I thought it. I thought it because we were told already that this is the last season on Amazon, I should say that. Amazon said this is the last season of Expanse they're making. Does that mean it can go somewhere else? No, it does not mean it can't go somewhere else. But so they were to me, it makes me think they were trying to wrap up more stuff with the story, because obviously there's a lot more that happens in the book series than what was going on in the 5 seasons previously before this 6th and last season on Amazon. So I was like, they're going to shotgun. I don't know why I thought this, because I should have thought through it and said, oh no, because they told us before they were producing season 5 and 6 together. So because they wanted, because obviously a lot of it is the same, and you can give your special effects team and editing team more time. Because we had almost 2 full years between season 3 and season 4, right?
It felt like it. I believe so, yeah.
Because of the cancellation on Sci-Fi, the pickup, which feels like it was almost immediately that Amazon's like, we're going to make more. But I think
there was a big, fan movement.
Yeah.
For a while there. So it still took at least a year, I would say, before they announced it, and probably about 2 years before the actual season came out.
Yeah. So I was like, all right. So yeah, I got in my brain like they're going to shotgun as much of this, of the last few books as they can into it. And I was like, man, it's going to be a real rush. It's going to be like every episode's going to be like half a book, right, to catch up to the end, and like skip a bunch of stuff. And then legit, they killed Alex off. And I was like, because they did that last season. And I forgot, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's right." Because in the books, spoiler alert for the books, Bobby dies, but Alex is still alive.
Well, we haven't even gotten to Bobby's death yet, even in the show.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So like, it was weird that he went out first, but I guess he had the actor, which name skips my thing. He had other stuff going on, and
yeah, he didn't really have other stuff going on. Technically, he ended up.
Not his career-wise, like life stuff, right? Something like that.
He was kind of a creep to the fans, and was essentially soliciting sex from, fans.
Yeah, you're famous. That's what you're supposed to do.
Not really. No, you're not supposed to do that.
Why do they call it bait and
box
tackle?
that you check off on the thing of like, I'm a celebrity now, and ask for sexual favors. Check. No, so the actor ended up just, and yeah, his name is Kaz Danvar.
There you go.
It's unfortunate because all the casting in this show were just like so fucking good, so good, and it sucks that that's just what he ended up deciding to do. And so I mean, good on their part, where they're just like, look, this is not something that we can have going forward, and they just found a way to kill his character off.
And they did it in a heroic way for the character. Apparently, it's just too bad that the actor is a creepy, skeevy scumbag. Apparently, whatever. To each their own, I guess. But what I was gonna say is, I just started reading the last book, or quote unquote last book, the last novel, as it is, Leviathan's Fall. I always want to, for some reason, I want to call it Fall Leviathan. I don't know why I want to do that.
Neither do I.
Not even close to how it's gone, because it's supposed to mirror Leviathan Wakes, obviously, or bookend. I should say, not mirror, but bookend. Did you finish the book?
I am 63% of the way through the book right now.
Okay.
How far are you?
That's a solid question. I've been listening to the audiobook. And I am, not that I don't know if this is going to tell you anything. I have 5 hours and 29 minutes left.
Doesn't really tell me anything.
Nah.
How many hours is the audiobook?
It's like 20 something.
Oh man, you were a lot further than me then.
21 hours. Yeah, it looks like 21 hours.
You have to be a lot further than me. So then I should probably go, because I would ask you, what's the last thing that you went over in the book. But it sounds like you're a lot further than me. So the point in the book that I am at right now is Naomi just agreed to Trejo's offer of an amnesty between the underground and the Laconian government to control the ring space, to make sure no one goes Dutchman. So you had the events of Kamal's family almost goes Dutchman, but Ghost Duarte apparently fixes that and makes them so that they don't. He appears to Naomi and everybody on the Falcon.
Yeah, Falcon.
Which is the scientific vessel that's orbiting the BFE, the big fucking emerald, even though it's a diamond. And then on one chapter after that, which is Tanaka's chapter, I believe it was.
Yeah,
but I don't fully remember what's going on with her. She's getting therapy and stuff right now.
Oh, so she went through the facial reconstruction surgery then, right?
Yeah, that was a chapter or two ago. Okay. She goes through the facial reconstruction, she beats the fuck out of the doctor, and then she checks herself into therapy.
Okay. Yeah. You're actually right behind me. It's I'm mistaken. It's 19 hours and 40 minutes.
Okay. You're still a lot further. You're still quite a bit further than me. I'm mostly reading it at night, and I woke up in the middle of the night last night, and I was like, well, I can't really sleep, so I'm going to read a chapter. So I literally read a chapter last night in the middle of the night.
Nice.
That's how good this story is, I will say, but I have one fear about it. And it feels the way, and it's been a year or more since I've read the last book. I have a fear that they don't know how to end the series. They don't know how to end the book. And it feels like, because I've complained about this with The Witcher, that Andrei Sapkowski wrote a very good story, had no idea how to end it, so he ended it in a very weird way with multiple endings. And I have a feeling that they have built up this unknown enemy for so long that they kind of didn't really know. They're not sure how to end it. And that just at where I'm at in the book, that's all. I don't have anything to back that up. It's just a feeling, just the way that the story beats are playing out to me right now. I have no idea how they're going to end it, because apparently Duarte has knowledge of some weapon that the protomolecule builders built, but as he states, they didn't have the will to pull the trigger. So he thinks that he can build it and pull the trigger. But it somehow involves all of humanity linking brains and becoming essentially one in order to operate it. And so all I'm saying is at this point in time, like, I don't know how it's actually going to end. I don't really have very many guesses of how it's actually going to end, but I have a feeling that they kind of are just at the point where, like, okay, we have to, this is the last book. We've done all this other amazing stuff in the past, which you, honestly, if you took out, I mean, obviously you'd have to have the ring gate in order to progress the story along, so you'd have to have the alien technology. But if you took out the unknown enemy part out of the rest of the books, you would still have a very good series that you could just end with humanity, fighting this final war with Laconia, which honestly I don't understand myself. You ended the last book with a huge strike of the underground on Laconia, and then you pick up in this book sometime later where all of the underground forces have backed away, where it felt like you could have just had a death blow on Laconia. You just continue that war. That's, I suppose, actually thinking about it now that I'm talking it through, that's one of the things that doesn't make sense to me in the story. That you ended the last book, it was a big strike on Laconia, you got James, you got Holden back, you picked up Amos? Is he Amos? Is he not? I don't know.
He is. 2.0.
But you pick up in this book with a jump in time. I don't recall if they actually tell you how long of a jump in time it is. But the underground backed off. Like they went in, they bombed the fuck out of the
shipyard.
They bombed Laconia. They got James back, and then they just backed off. Like, wouldn't you think that you would want to do like a killing blow to make him surrender?
Well, the only thing
all I'm saying is before I let you, is you push the fight. That's all I'm saying. I expected this book to be push the fight with Laconia. And then at some point down the road in the book, you're forced to have to deal with the other stuff going on. You could still have the subplot of, and I'm spacing out, Elvie, and her crew still trying to figure out what's going on with the intergalactic space eels or whatever they are, the space eels that are between worlds. I don't know. Anyway, you can still have that going on, but it just felt like they should have been pushing the fight in this book to finish Laconia off. And for some reason, they're just like, we bombed them, we got Holden back, and we destroyed the shipyards. We're good. Let's go back. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, continue.
I was gonna say it's funny you say that, because I was thinking about something it's very similar to that. Is they did the exact same thing they did with the Free Navy when they had Marcos on, like, essentially against the ropes, right, as they say, and just beating his face directly back into his face. They essentially, like, and they did in the show too. Someone pulls a punch, as Amos said, and Marcos gets away. Now in the books, spoiler alert, because this may ruin part of the show. Who knows? Because we have one episode left and he's still alive. He burns for the gate, and I'm guessing the way this episode 5 was going is it's going to go kind of the same way. he puts his ships up against the now combined forces of the UN and Mars and the Belters, and he basically tucks his tail and runs the other way towards the ring gate. Gets in thinking he's going to use, if he can get on the other side of the station, the railguns can hold the Soul Gate, and he will have control of all the other gates. Well, when that happens, he's winning, right? Well, the Heart of the Tempest pops in, and they're like, what the fuck is this thing? What's happening? And then it just blinks Marcos essentially out of existence by its fucking weird alien railgun thing that it has, where it basically just evaporates most of every bit of atoms, and it just becomes nothing. And he dies that way. They then dismantle, using the same thing, dismantle the rail guns so they don't work. Actually, no, I'm sorry. They don't, because Duarte gave him those guns, and he turns them off because he has that ability, if I'm not mistaken. That's how it happens. And he eliminates Marcos, and then literally goes through and then shuts off everybody's brains with the weird thing they have on that ship, and is like, hey, we're in charge now. We're Laconia. Welcome to our empire. But I don't know how they're going to do this in the one freaking maybe hour-long episode they have. Actually, I can tell you, because I almost started playing it.
Does it happen like that in the show? In the book? I'm thinking of it.
Hour and 4 minutes.
Because when does the battle for Medina Station happen? There's like a whole book, or part of the book, that I'm trying to remember, where they're literally fighting for Medina Station like floor by floor, and
that was because that's when it's not Babylon's Ashes, is it? Because that's when Peaches was trying to kill Holden.
Babylon's Ashes is what we're on right now.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it's before that, because that's before Peaches was
part of the crew.
Yeah, because she was trying to kill Holden, because she's the one hunting him down through the floors, and they even mention it in episode 5, as she says to him after she confesses that she's the one that found out that he turned off or deactivated the warhead that could have killed Marcos. Spoiler if you haven't caught up. And she says to him, "Do you realize when? Do you want to know when it was I realized I didn't want to kill you?" And it's because she was stalking him and Naomi, walking through unguarded or unarmed towards a bunch of guns that are essentially going to murder them on the Medina Station, because that's when they were taking it. Then there was in the not the last book, because that was the time jump one. The one before that, which I believe is that Nemesis? No. Like, why are the names always fucking like always forget the names and what order they go in.
Because, okay, so that was at the beginning of the fight with the Free Navy, essentially.
Persepolis Rising.
So the time jump hasn't happened. No, it has happened.
No, time jump has not happened in the show.
Has not happened yet.
Because Duarte, his forces of Laconia coming through, taking down Medina Station and Marcos at the same time, and then essentially going into the Soul Gate in front of everybody and be like, snap, your minds are shut off for a few seconds. Welcome back. We're the Laconians. We now run the entire space, all of space. Anything you can see as space, we now own. And then the next book, which was Tiamat's Wrath, is when they jump to the...
It was 30 years.
Was it 28 or 30 years?
30.
30? The 30 years. And in that time frame, Laconia has essentially dominated the universe, as they said they were going to. Naomi and Alex, who were on... They went back to... Was it Earth they went back to? And they, essentially, buried the Rocinante in a cave somewhere. and they basically built the underground to then go after Holden. But yeah, that's where it goes. But the Medina Station battle, the one you might be thinking of, if you're thinking of the floor-to-floor one, that is the one where Peach is going after him because they're trying to take control of the ring of the.
That's the one I'm thinking of. That's the one, yeah, because they remember they're basically putting out fires left and right. Basically, they start taking it floor by floor, and they think they got it, and then something happens in the reactor room, and they have to go. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Then the one before Holden gets captured, which is before the time jump, is also Medina. Is when they're the Heart of the Tempest is there, and I believe that's in Persepolis Rising because again, the time jump is Tiamat's Wrath, but before he gets captured, there's another event where they're on Medina Station. And Laconians, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna take out we're gonna take control of the rail guns on the station, on the alien station. We're gonna use those. We're gonna take down the Heart of the Tempest." And when they do, that's when like everything kind of goes sideways. Holden gets captured at the end of that book, obviously, and then that's when they kind of scatter to the wind because they I believe they steal. That's when they steal the
Gathering Storm.
The Gathering Storm. Yeah, they steal that, and Bobby does. Later on, obviously, doesn't really survive that. Something similar to it, and then they do destroy the Heart of the Tempest, but they steal the Gathering Storm, but there's another ship that basically takes Holden and brings him across into Laconia, and they're like, "What the fuck do we do now? We can't we can't get near it because they keep fucking shooting at us or whatever." I believe this is how that one ends, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, there's a couple times where the station, Medina Station, however you want to call it, is a focal point of like a big battle. The one where they go floor to floor is the one where Peaches is going after. Clarissa Mao is going after Holden, but the other one is when they basically are going to sabotage all of Medina Station to take down the Heart of the Tempest, and then use because if I'm mistaken, I think they shoot a railgun round through part of the Medina Station into the Heart of Tempest because they're like, it's going to see it coming, but if we shoot through part of the station, or at least near it or something like that, it's not going to be like, oh, it can't get us, sort of thing. But yeah, there's a bunch of that shit. But yeah, it's the books are so good, but they're also really long, so it's hard to like go back and read them, especially since like it seems like every year and a half-ish a new one comes out.
Yeah.
So it's like, and they're not like a TV show where I can sit and binge watch it.
No.
Reading a book that's 500-600 pages is pretty tough to do over and over and over again.
It is.
And they're fantastic. But yeah, I'm in the same point where like I'm trying to remember like, because when they said like, I remember like Bobby dying, obviously in that one, in the last book, which was ridiculous. Like she just got annihilated. And you're like, holy shit, like that's not good, right? And then of course at that point too, you don't know Amos is not dead because like you find out Timothy was shot in the fucking head. And, like Amos has been shot a bunch. He's been pretty beat up a lot of times. Getting shot in the head where, like, your brain comes out, you don't really come back from that, per se. I guess I would have said the same thing if a grenade round went through into your back and out your chest. You wouldn't have come back either. But, again, protomolecule is a weird thing. And,
that was a big shock in that part. I was like, oh my god, did they just legit kill Amos? Like, I thought it was still weird that like, story-wise, they carried him into the Rocinante. It was like, it makes sense because you don't want to leave your friend behind, but it was just like a shock of like, they really just fucking kill him?
Yeah, like...
Really? Yeah. And then he just, like, fucking stands up and he's like, man, that sucked. I'm not going to do that again. And it's like, okay, they didn't kill him. What the fuck?
Yeah, dude, I was like...
Just able to regenerate?
Yeah, I was like, holy shit! Like, I was like, I guess they gave us the, no body, no death, right? Like, they gave us the body. So I was like, all right, well, that's depressing. Let's get out of here. And then the whole battle ends, and he goes, yeah, it was a close one, huh? And I was like, what? I was like, there's no way. Like, they kept emphasizing how bad his wounds were, and like how much Holden's suit was covered in the black blood. And I was like, then it dawned on me, I was like, oh, they were playing that up way too much to make us think that he was dead, and then he just comes back. I was like, all right, well, I guess I should have paid attention to the words that you're all spitting at my face and know that, he's not dead. I do honestly think, though, thinking about it now, I wonder if Amos and the kids are the weapon.
I don't know.
Because they're different, but similar to Duarte. Like, Duarte obviously has a really drastically different control of the protomolecule.
He could read it differently than they were.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously, yeah, he was fucking re-engineered badly. And because he shows abilities that obviously the kids so far haven't. Maybe they might. There's a scene. I don't know if you're there yet, but there's a scene between Amos and Kara. But when he wakes up from his weird coma that he fucking went into, which is like a metamorphosis state apparently, like a beautiful fucking murderous butterfly, and he comes out and he finds out that the doctor wants to kill his daughter and rebuild her with protomolecule. He literally just waves his hand and the dude atomizes. Like, he splats him across a room, like there's no, like he's shooing a fly, like a bunch of like trillions and billions and jillions of flies, and just wipes him out of existence. And then goes, all right, cool. You're in charge. Have fun. I'm gonna go for a nature walk.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for a nature walk and find this crazy egg-shaped thing, and I'm just gonna fly off into fuck knows where. I know where he is now, but. That was just in the last chapter.
We think we do.
Oh, have they not gotten there yet, even where you are?
They are, I'll tell you this, they are mounting up a ragtag group of people to go there, yes, right now.
Okay. So literally, I am not very far behind you then, because, this is like a chapter. It sounds like maybe I'm only a chapter or two behind you, which is really weird to think that then there's only 5 hours left of the audiobook. But I'm literally 63% of the way through the book itself, which is literally just a little bit more than halfway. Whatever.
Yeah, looking at the thing, the little bar that shows progression on it, it looks like it's 60%. Like, I'll show you. Like, this is the. Hold on.
Yeah.
Like, see the bar?
Yeah, and for me, that looks like 60 to 75% of the way through the book.
So, like, it's not that far. Like, you're not that far behind me. There's a couple things that go along with what you're doing, and there's like a sort of forming of a plan by one person, but like not doesn't sound like a very solid plan, and pretty much does not sound like it's gonna work. But who am I to know what they're thinking? Yeah, to my the point I brought this up for, not because let's talk about where we're at. How dope did the Heart of the Tempest look on screen?
Oh, it looks absolutely awesome.
So what was crazy to me is, first when I started texting you, was when they show it off in the distance. Like, they're having the wake for Xander, Alexander, as he's known before. His nickname is really given, because he got fucking hit by a car, which is rough to think about. And, man, they showed his mangled body. I was like, yo, you shouldn't show that to people. That's a child just mangled as shit. Like, it looked like his head was on backwards almost. And like he was just like he was
even when he comes back from the dead and Kara sees him and hugs him, you're just like, you still look like you got hit by a car, dude. Like, one eye looks like glossed over, and it's just like, okay.
Yeah, I was like, no, that's not good.
Props to the actress who plays Kara then, because it's like, she has this like, oh, like, you still look pretty banged up, but fuck it, you're my brother, you're alive now, awesome. And it's just like, yeah, that'd be my reaction too. If, like, Cody came back from the dead, I'd, be like, but still looked like he got hit by a truck, I'd be like, ooh, you don't look too good, but it's good to have you back, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, so you see it in the sky, and it looks like it's essentially being built, right? And I was like, oh my god, that is. I had to look it up. I was like, that's the. I was like, not the storm, the other one. I was like, Heart of the Tempest. And then at the end of that little Laconia section, which by the way, you meet Duarte, and he has a very interesting talk with Kara.
He has the discussion from the book.
Yeah, it's just it's for some reason it was way creepier on TV than I remember it being in the book.
I will say, so as much as I said that the casting of the show is very spot on, I will say that for some reason, and this is just what I put in my head as what Duarte looks like, and I can't even think of if they really describe what his character looks like in the book. They probably do, and I just glossed over it. The actor they got to play him looked a little bit too everyman soldier. No, everyman. Rather than what I would have thought that an authoritarian dictator would have looked like.
Yeah,
I was expecting somebody that would look more like, to put somebody in your head, Michael Ironsides or something like that. Like kind of he has more of a presence to him. You know, when he speaks, you know, he has that voice that you just listen to. Where this guy was like, he was more soft spoken. He didn't look like that type of leader. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's funny because when you say Michael Ironside, I think Trejo is more of a Michael Ironside character than Duarte. And it's funny, and I don't remember this being told to us who Duarte really was in the other books. In this book, they're like, hey, like they kind of give you like a history of who Duarte is and like how he rose to power, right? Because Tanaka's like reading up on like everything. It turns out he was a logistics officer. Wasn't even like a commanding officer. He was a logistics officer. That's why he was able to steal the ships and the weapons and all that, because he's literally the one that designed how that stuff happens, how it travels, how it moves from one place to the other, because was in charge of logistics or in logistics. Yeah. And then, so it's funny to me you say he doesn't see, like he seems soft-spoken, because I think he really is. The difference is he has like this like weird scary plan that everyone is like afraid of, so they impose that scariness on him, you know what I mean? And he gets so much power where whatever he says, I mean, when you call yourself the high what's he call himself?
High Council?
High Council, yeah. Like when you are the High Council, and when you say that, like, oh, that's how many people is that? 5, 6, 7, 11, right? No, it's one dude. He had so much power because he had this plan and he was setting up the pieces properly where like he just was that scary after a while, you know what I mean? Like he had the plan. But to me, like that guy, when he sat there with Kara, reason I say it was creepy is because he's so, like, you realize who he is. Like they show him and it says Duarte on his shirt. And I was like, oh, that's the dude that eventually just wipes people away with a wave of his hand. And I was like, that dude's understatedly scary. And like, it's real weird to me.
And I might understand it in the sense of like, he obviously got a lot of people to follow him. So he's got some sort of charisma behind him, some sort of idea, and a person that is more charismatic and soft-spoken, basically somebody that can make you believe an idea is good just by the way he explains it, is much more scary because he can get people to believe in him than somebody who is just a outright, you know, let's kill everybody type of like person. Getting the people to believe that they're doing something correct themselves rather than I guess telling people that they're correct. There's probably something more to it. I can it's a religious zealotry, and they say it in the book. That people are so into this because it's basically a religion type thing. They believe it so much. That's why they're able so I guess to probably try and more accurately describe what I think they're going for is he's like a cult leader.
He's very Charles Manson.
Exactly. Yeah. He's very much a cult leader. He's this is the things that he believes that we need to be done in order for the greater good type thing. This is, we're working towards the greater thing. I'm not a bad guy. We're not the bad guys. We're the good guys type thing. But we need to do these things in order to be the good guys. And it's a religious zealotry.
Yeah. He has like that.
So that is a very scary thing. You're right. Because it's one thing to help just outright walk up to somebody and say, hey, you need to kill that person over there. It's a whole other thing to make someone believe that they need to kill someone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because like Marcos he's both sides of that, right? He's willing to take the shot, but he's also willing to convince others to take the shot. Where Duarte is like, hey, this is the plan, right? This is what we're going to do. But I'm just going to let you know, we will need to kill a lot of people, probably, if they don't want to go with what we're doing. But we're not going to just outright kill them. We'll give them the option. We'll say, hey, eat only red apples, but if you prefer green apples, I'm going to shoot you in the face.
And I think that's the difference between their methodologies is Marcos's plans or his religion, if you will, is based off of hate. Mm-hmm. We hate these people. They've always put us down. We hate them. This is everything that they've done to us. So let's give it back to them 1,000-fold. Whereas Duarte is no, we're trying to save the human race. We're trying to save. This is the only path to redemption of the human race. So if you don't follow, sorry, but at least the human race goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like Marcos is like, we obviously you and I know and readers know what Duarte is going to be up to. And when you find out like Duarte was obviously like the one that kind of put Marcos in power. And then you find out basically like he was just a pawn. Like he's like, I need you to stir up enough trouble where I can then, I can
secretly
just cheese it.
Move most of the, Martian Navy to another planet. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when we're, I'm going to let you people fight amongst each other. It won't matter because whoever's left standing, I'm just going to rule. I'm just going to come over and say, hey, there's no need to fight because we have the biggest stick. And the biggest stick wins. So you now belong to Laconian Empire. Have fun as long as you listen to our rule. Where Marcos is like, no, we want to free and we're going to get you back for all the years of decades of mistreatment of the Belters. And then no, Duarte is like, no, we're all human-ish. No matter if you're skinny and tall and talk weird or you're from Earth/Mars, we're all human and we're gonna fall in line under my rule or our. He always made it sound like our rule, like Laconia rule, not like Duarte rule.
Right, but that's another way of him convincing people that it is. This is everyone. The human race is Laconian. Everyone is a Laconian. As long as you follow our rules, type thing.
Yeah, so he's policing
when you fight for Laconia, you are Laconia.
Yeah, and
just don't fight against us. Then you're not. You're dead.
Yeah. Oh, and you're dead. Like you're dead. Like they're, man. They're like at one point, like when you get to, I can't remember the system they go to where the Draper station's at and everything, where the Gathering Storm's hidden, and like that one ship's like, hey, just so you know, we know the Gathering Storm is here. We are going to tell you right now, we want it back. We don't care who gives it to us. But if you don't give it to us, we're going to glass this planet.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're going to what?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you don't give a fuck, do you? Like, you're like, no, you took one of our toys, so we're gonna break everything we see until someone gives it back to us. And I was like, damn, y'all still mad about that ship, huh?
Well, I mean, it is a big black eye on them. I mean, here you come rampaging through the solar system, and you think that, hey, like you said earlier, you're waving the biggest stick, so you don't think anybody's really gonna, you probably foresee people uprising against you, but because you wave the biggest stick, the best armor, and everything, you're just gonna put down resistance like no tomorrow. But you forget about the plucky, people that are able to think their way through situations, and someone steals one of your flagships, and it's like, oh, fuck you, I want that back. Yeah,
they were
you're
very
gonna be
upset.
a little pissed off.
Yep, they took our shiny toy and hid it for years. It sounds like that thing was fucking. I mean, that was like 30 years, right? Like that's just man.
Well, no, I don't think the time jump between.
Oh no, Gathering Storm was later.
Yeah, depending on when I can't remember exactly which book they stole it in. I want to say they stole it in the last book, didn't they? Because I feel like the last book is when Bobby dies.
Yeah, because they stole it, so it's probably been
stole it in the last book, so it's only been a couple
handful of years,
possibly.
Yeah.
Between the last book and this one, like I said, I don't recall if they actually say what type of time jump they did between these two books.
Well, I know. Well, Holden was prisoner for 5 years. Well, not 5 years. But did they say 5 years? Something like, I think they said like they had it for like 5 years. I don't know why I'm thinking that number.
I don't know either. I can't think of anywhere that.
I know why. Because in this book, I think it's Alex says that he lived on Draper Station for 5 years working on the Storm. Because he was with Bobby right before the underground attack on Laconia. That was supposed to basically be like Amos like went on his own. Is like, I'm gonna take this nuke. I'm gonna get Holden back. So we'll see you guys in a little bit. And they're like, why? No, don't do that. He's been gone for a while. We get it. We gonna get him back. Amos like, I'm gonna get him back. And then he got a bullet in the back of his head. Unfortunately, but then got rebuilt. But anyways, yeah, I think it was 5 years because Alex said something about being like he flew and lived with these people for like a good 5 years. I think he said. That's why I was thinking 5 years. So
okay.
I know they've had it for a while. Obviously, Bobby died getting it. But yeah, interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of that time jump really fucks with the whole remembering when stuff happened, and the ring space is a big thing because like there's book 4, right? Book 4 is the one where like they're on New Terra, I think they call it, which is like the first alien planet they really kind of go to where shit goes fucking south real bad, and like the moons turn into weapons that are going to destroy the fucking planet.
Yeah.
And it's like that and almost the entirety of that book takes place in that part of space, which is crazy to think about. The fuck is Mike sending?
I don't know.
Oh, welcome.
I was
to
actually
Murderville.
trying to look up to see how long the underground had the Gathering Storm, but I couldn't find it. It didn't say.
You didn't check the fandom wiki thingy that you can find by typing in stuff about the Expanse?
I did, and that's where I ended up, and it didn't list it. It listed like the chapters it listed the basic history of it, but it didn't list like, the underground had it for so many years.
The Gathering Storm. Mike sent a synopsis of a show Will Arnett is hosting called Welcome to Murderville, I think, where it's like essentially a live action version of Clue where you have to kind of figure out a murder mystery.
Good for him.
Yeah. Captured by insurgents led by Bobby Draper, destroyed in the Battle of Draper Station, blah, blah, blah. Persepolis Rising. Yeah, it doesn't say anything on there. Doesn't really help. Oh, no. Don't click on links, Cody. You don't know how math works.
I know, like, I even I'm looking up Leviathan Falls, and I'm like, let's not read too many spoilers here.
Yeah, I'm trying not to click on stuff because I don't want him to like tell me anything that I don't already know. Anyhow, I know it was a bunch of years because Alex said he served with them. That's why he was like, because I want to say it was Holden's perspective, or was it Naomi's? Someone's perspective after. Spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't finished the book yet. When what's her face, who makes terrible decisions, decided she's gonna run that ship directly into a very newer version of that ship to distract them so Holden can get away with the Rosantante and everybody. And they took out. Well, she did take out one ship with the Sparrow Hawk, right?
Yeah, the Sparrow Hawk.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way that chapter read.
Because that chick is dumb as balls?
Well, because she's dumb as balls. Like, there is definitely that. But obviously, they don't, to me, they didn't really clearly set up what she was about to do. And then they cut from her perspective over to the Rocinante, and we're not seeing the fight in live action as it's happening. We're seeing, it suddenly cuts, and I'm like, well, what the fuck happened to that ship? We were about to have a big fucking battle, and we just cut to the Rocinante. And then they go back and re-explain what just happened. And I'm like, well, that's dumb. Why didn't you just fucking give me the battle and then end it? I didn't like that chapter.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it because it like, you get her, she's like, oh yeah, charge everything, give me battles or fucking firing solutions, blah blah blah, and then it literally jumps and you're like, and it talks about like how the whatever the other fucking ship is,
the Sparrowhawk, I think you are correct. The
Sparrowhawk gets destroyed, and then you think the other one got taken out or at least damaged a lot because of the whole wreckage of the storm and the Sparrowhawk, and it just flies through the wreckage and comes right after him, but it's like limping because obviously it was like not limping, but like behind the Renosante, who was making a hard burn towards the gate, and I literally thought they were going to kill Holden. I'm not even joking you. And the reason I say it is because they're talking about how he feels like he's having a stroke, and I was like, are they gonna?
He just strokes out like 35% of the way through the book or 40% of the way through the book.
Yeah, I was like, this is gonna be fucked up. Like, then they're gonna give him over to the drones or something, and like he's gonna rebuild. And I was like, don't do that. Like, that's not good. Don't do that. But yeah,
don't say that. I can see them doing that.
I know, like,
because Holden would be the antithesis to Duarte. Who would you rather have control? Because that's the big thing that they're going over in the book right now, or at least that's the problem that they're mulling over in the book right now, is you have, maybe you give it over to Amos, but even he's not a very good selection to do, but you have that,
he's better than Duarte.
Is he though?
Yeah, Duarte is willing to sacrifice the minds and souls of all humanity to kill the protomolecule thingy or whatever the fucking,
to kill the
intergalactic fucking ice or goo eel or fucking jellyfish, whatever the fuck they keep calling it, because she keeps saying like 9 different names. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this even is. And you're talking about like
alien eels and the space beyond space, or whatever it is that they used in the Indiana Jones.
Just nonsense. And I was like, because I was thinking, like I said earlier, I think that along with the diamond / emerald, whatever the fuck you actually want to call it, the library, what do you want to do, that the Falcon has been literally like investigating for fucking 2 decades, it seems like now, and experimenting with the 2 forever children, Kara and Xander. With Amos, when they did that dive, obviously, like, he was obviously connected directly versus just like remotely, and he was able, like, he even said, like, I experienced it more as like a participant than like a viewer this time. And then I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if they're along with the diamond / emerald, big fucking emerald, they will somehow use that as the way to stop Duarte from essentially like Borging everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like the hive mind thing, like, because it's really spilling over terribly. Like, obviously, Tanaka is like not handling it well. The doctor's medicating herself now because she realized that it's definitely not a good thing that's happening. Like, you're not going to be yourself anymore. Like, it's going to lose what it is to be human, which is what they're obviously trying to stop Duarte from doing. But I would think Amos would be the better safety than Duarte, who's literally, he just takes the simplest plan, which I'm not saying is simple, but like the simplest way is, oh, what I'm going to do is what they've been doing is I'm going to link us all together and I'm going to use that to shut them down because I can do that. But if I'm that much stronger, then I can do it easier. Because obviously he was able to stop the whole Dutchmaning.
The ship from going Dutchman.
Yeah. What's that? How would you... Yeah, the ship from going Dutchman. I was going to try and think of one word to say, but I don't think that exists. Especially since the Dutchman is not really a term or a word. Anyways, so he's able to like reverse it, which is crazy, right? Like he's like, nah, no. And like he just re-put it back together. And then he like somehow tuned the gates to like essentially mind meld everybody together. And then is slowly making it go the other direction. And I was like, yeah, no, that's not good. But the kids may be able to use the power that's locked in the library to then find a way to stop him. I don't know. But I would say, to the point, Amos would be a way better solution than Duarte to guard that power. Now to use it, I don't know. Like, Amos may be like, well, what we can do is just, I will reach out and kill everybody who's bad. Air quotes, you know. But Duarte is gonna be like, nah, I'm gonna do what needs to be done to save humanity. I'm like, no, you're gonna make this all fucking not human anymore. You know what I mean?
Right, because you're bending everybody's will to his will, his idea of what he thinks is correct. Again,
yeah,
he thinks is correct.
Which I think is more of the protomolecule fucking him over than it is him making him stronger.
Well, it's probably amplifying his thoughts and desires. He now has the power to do stuff more than he did before. Giving that power to Amos, though, like, Amos, maybe I'm not thinking things through all the way, but Amos to me is more of just a blunt instrument. He's very much the thing that you just point in a direction and you say, do this, whether it's fix the ship or kill a person. He's not a thinker. He's just a tool to be used. So
yes.
That's what I'm saying that, like, I don't even know if I would trust him in a sense to be able to like, maybe in the sense of, like, if you're saying, hey, you know, everyone, you know, obviously you have Duarte on the one hand where he's completely fine with violating everybody's humanity. Yeah, I don't think Amos would be the type of person to be able to do that.
Yeah, Duarte is more of, like, Duarte is the guy pressing his finger to the button. Amos is the finger. You know what I mean? Like, he's... sounds fucked up. He's literally... He's the trigger, right? Like, he's willing... Like, he'll do what he's told, but, like, he's also evolved enough to where, like, he knows that it's, like, certain things aren't kosher, right? For, like, the broad spectrum. Like, he sees, like, Tanaka, and he wasn't going to kill Tanaka. He was going to knock her out. And Holden's like, you know, cool. And then she obviously, you know, decided she didn't want to do anything. And so he put a couple because originally on when they were on New Egypt or whatever that fucking planet was called.
New Egypt, yeah.
I think the system's called New Egypt. I couldn't remember. Anyways, they're there, and they were going to leave Teresa there to go to school with her cousin or something, second cousin, whatever that chick was, niece or nephew or fucking aunt. I don't know. I don't remember. And he's like, they're like, they have her. Like, they're like, no, Amos is behind her, right? He's like, I can just bonk her on the head. We can take her, and we can figure out what she wants, right? And Holden's like, nah, fuck this bitch. Leave her here. And Amos is like, all right, right? Because he's the trigger. He's willing to fire, right? But Holden's like, nah, dog, let's just fucking go. And as they're walking away, she's like, oh, hidden gun, fire shot, blow chest apart, or she pulls the gun out, Holden turns, fires 3 shots into her armor, knocks her down. They think she's dead, and then she kills Amos, right? But, like, if Amos would have knocked her out, and they could have investigated, right? But Holden, being the traumatized torture victim that he is, and still not recovered even close, was like, he's evolved more into, like, what Amos was before. Like, Amos was always willing to kill right away before anything else. But his turning point as a character was... a few books back now, but he's now willing to be more diplomatic. And even now that he's Amos 2.0, he was still willing to be, yeah, I'm going to hit this broad in the back of the head with a fucking gun to knock her out. It may hurt like quite a bit, but I'm not going to kill her. Because he could have just right in the back of the head, and then and there's no drones there to fucking put her back together, which, by the way, that'd be terrifying if they put that bitch back together. She is crazy. Even before the other fucking voices in her head, she was legit. Like, when she was on Draper Station and she tore that guard apart, I was like, what?
Oh, the fact that in my mind, if you were to play this scene out in an actual TV show but have a little bit more fun with it, she would just be like skipping through the station, just like boom, boom. You'd have something like, not like Monty Python, but some sort of like happy, it's me and you and me, and she's just like having fun, killing people,
That's exactly how I saw it in my head.
Exactly how that she felt in that part where she was just like, okay, negotiations have ended. This is how I negotiate. Let's have some fun. Pow, 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 pow. Yeah.
Yeah, this is exactly how I saw it in my head.
She's very much so something that should not have been set loose.
Yeah, no. That's a dog that needed to be...
It'll be interesting to see going forward, because I think the next chapter I'm on is Tanaka. Haven't started that chapter yet. And I'm imagining that it's going to be Trejo saying, hey, we think we know where Duarte is. Obviously, you're a little bit further than me, and I don't want to hear what actually happens. But I imagine that it's going to be Trejo contacting her and being like, hey, look, we think we know where Duarte is. Here's the pictures of the egg going into the alien space station in the ring gate. Go there, but oh, by the way, we are going to, Naomi did contact us, and we are going to be having an alliance with the Underground, so Holden's also going to be there. Don't kill him. That's what I imagine that this half-ass plan is going to partially be. And her grudge, it's not even really much of her mission. Her mission initially was just to get Duarte. But once Holden almost killed her and she got more fucked up in the head, this is just basically she's on vengeance is what she's raging on right now. And she just wants to kill Holden to kill Holden.
I will not say anything. Yes or no, I'm not going to say either way, because you are right. You are at that point where things are happening. I don't know what those things are yet. I just know the plans.
You know the plan. I have yet to see the plan unfold because I'm like a chapter or two away.
Oh, I haven't seen it unfold. I just know what the plan is.
You just know what the plan is. No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what the plan is. I'm literally a chapter or two away from learning what the plan is.
Yeah, like, I know they have a parachute in a backpack, but I don't know if that parachute is just dirty laundry that someone's playing a joke on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
and it may not be great. But yeah, there's the plan is questionable. But you'll get there and understand. But I think that's it. Before we ramble on for another fucking forever, I am excited to see what tomorrow/tonight's episode is, and I will know by tomorrow because I'm off and I'll watch it. Because I much like you, I don't know where they're gonna go because they're not the end of the show, but the book is at the end of the series. So it'd be very interesting to see what they do going forward, if anything. It would suck if they just
ended it here.
Said this is where it ends, like cliffhanger style.
Go read the books, you'll be able to at least finish the series out.
Yeah, it's like if HBO would have canceled Game of Thrones after season 7.
Yeah.
Or whatever, season 9 or whatever what was the second to last one? Was there 10 seasons? 9 seasons? How many seasons of Game of Thrones were there?
I want to say there were only 8 seasons of Game of Thrones.
Whatever the last one was, if they would have ended it before that, you know what I mean? Like all these cliffhangers like hanging out, like, oh, Jon Snow is still actually like the books. If the books never continue and Jon Snow is still dead and all these other things are up in the air, that's what it feels like to this show right now.
8 seasons.
It was 8. Okay, I was right the first time. Yeah.
It was 8.
Yeah, so if they would have just if HBO would have canceled Game of Thrones at the end of season 7, said, fuck it, we're not doing it anymore, it's way too expensive and we're tired of dragons. They didn't, obviously, because they're making a fuck ton of money. But they're also spending a bunch, but I think making way more. Anyhow, if they would have just ended it there, that's what it feels like how this is ending. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
We know there's more, but we're not going to get more in the show-wise versus the books. The books, obviously, we're hopefully going to have an end to. Who knows? Maybe Joe's right. Maybe they're like, MacGuffin. All of a sudden, Duarte's like going to snap his fingers and everybody's pretzels. I don't know. But anyways, I think that's it for this episode, unless Joe has anything else to add before we wrap it up.
I got nothing to add except for my hopes that after in next week or maybe even at the end of this episode of The Expanse, they tease that, hey, we're not actually ending it. We just decided to go in a different direction of how to release it. That maybe it's no longer a series anymore, but they'll do maybe a movie, a couple of movies or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I would be very happy with that, because with the movies you could tie up more, but you wouldn't have to like try to paraphrase certain things. You could just be like, this is the event that happens in the movie, this is the event that happens in this movie, and now we're done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because obviously they have an endpoint, and like the dudes who are writing the books are co-writing and producing the show, so like they have a say in where the show's gonna go. But if they don't have anywhere to go with the show because the show is canceled again, then who knows? I don't know. But I digress. That's it for this week's episode of Comes Naturally. We are
Joe.
I have been Cody. That is it. Intro, outro, same time, like normal. And as usual, you fuckers just came naturally.
Bye.
Bye.